Hi everybody, I'm Matthew Thompson. This is my Informatics 596 final. My project is called Metamodel Driven Quantitative Architecture. I chose this project because during the semester I got promoted into a new role at my company as the Director of Enterprise Architecture. So um, I apologize in advance. I'm going to go rapidly through this deck because I have a demo that involves multiple components that I think would better explain this than I can within the slides themselves. So let's get started. So um, for people who don't know, enterprise architecture is basically the goal of it is to capture your organization as a whole. So business architecture, your processes, your organization, your departments, all of that, your technology architecture, so your actual physical, servers, how those are connected, etc. Data information architecture is the data components. So it's massive in scope, and as I kind of start this journey of trying to figure out where to start, um, I came up with this idea of basically enhanced metadata to help along the way. So the problem, manual EA documentation in healthcare is slow, expensive, and quickly outdated. That applies not just to healthcare, but this is healthcare and informatics, obviously. Artifacts are often disconnected from day-to-day operational metrics. Architecture and process maps are hand-built, taking months or years to complete. That's kind of like the first thing that we see that we need to do is go through business architecture and draw out all these processes. And the idea that we're going to sit in Visio and make these process maps for the next year is not particularly exciting. So I'm trying to explore an alternative here. And documentation lives in separate tools: Visio, spreadsheets, CMDB, dashboards with no single source of truth. So come in the meta model to solve that problem as well. And then leaders can't easily see how processes, systems, data, and controls fit together. So decisions rely on partial views. The approach here is a living architecture from static diagrams to a living operating model. Basically, enhance your metadata model up front to serve automated artifacts and data over time. So defining the structure once with TOGAF aligned meta model for processes, systems, data, and controls. TOGAF is the open group architecture framework. It's one of the most popular, if not most popular, architecture framework that kind of drives the strategy behind this. So I chose to align that way. That's step one, is building the model. Step two is generating. So generating anything from that meta model. Synthetic data, which we utilized in this prototype. I generated like a fake health care system called Thurman Health. BPMN workflows, which are BPMN is a specific standard of workflow. So we have automated generation of workflows. Architecture graph, which shows the entire architecture system of the org, and then our our dashboard, which I'll get into in a bit. And then monitor, which is continuously reflect reality, regenerating artifacts over time as data or assumptions change, so operations and risk can stay in sync. Okay, so metadata model itself, as I said, fictional healthcare company, we're aligned to TOGAF. There's 4 layers here on the right: strategic, operational, technology and data, and governance. Kind of got into those already, so I'm just going to jump forward. The metadata model is designed like this. We have those pillars that I mentioned, and then facts, which essentially these are quantitative pieces which enable further study, and it also enables basically some quantitative models to run in the background and generate scorecards for the org, whether it's process efficiency or technology health or data quality or whatever. It's basically, my whole idea here is, if we capture quantitative data, which is not necessarily it's not specifically defined by TOGAF. This is kind of an idea where we're extending the TOGAF model to enable some live scoring. So I'm going to jump forward, sorry. Uh, this gets into that quantitative idea. So fact tables for step runs, arrivals, incidents, and data quality, generated scorecards for processes and systems built from that model, and one place to attach KPIs and KRIs to the architecture. KPIs are key performance indicators, and KRIs are key risk indicators. Basically, like another advantage of this model is it allows you to, it's extensible. So like you could also measure your documentation coverage for organizations that are regulated. You could put your whole entire risk architecture into this as well. And basically see, like if this regulation changes, what processes is it going to affect? Because you have this map of everything being connected, which we're going to get into in a bit. Um, as I mentioned, this is synthetic hospital, so it's synthetic data as well. There's no personal health information in this pilot. And it's realistic, but fully synthetic. I utilized ChatGPT to generate some data to support this model, but I also did so in a standard framework. So I brought in some healthcare standards, which this slide talks about. So FHIR, HL7 V2, and then DICOM, as well as HIPAA were kind of like driving the strategy for what are standard processes that I can utilize, what data points should we capture for them. This is the operations intelligence dashboard. This is kind of like the end result of capturing quantitative data and enables you to view that data, and I'll do a live demo in a couple minutes. This is what one of those workflows looks like. From start to finish, you have departments kind of vertically, and then process is horizontal here. And then this is the architecture map that I mentioned as well. So you can visualize your entire organization just from one dashboard here. This is interactive. I'll get into that as well. It allows you to drill down and filter on specific orgs, entity types, etc. And then what this delivers for a real health system, you could faster onboarding of new processes, easier change as well. Traceability from strategy to process to systems, controls, and metrics, and then better conversations between departments. So it's found a foundation for continuous monitoring rather than always trying to like keep your, catch up basically. All right, sorry again for the rapid pace. Going to hop over. This is my website where I've hosted this project. I'm going to hop first into the architecture graph. So here is that full org view that we generated. You've got on the right value streams, capabilities, organizations, processes, steps, policies, control systems, data assets, and interfaces. So basically your whole picture. And you can click on this to see how these things interact with each other. Really powerful, enables an executive to get that executive top-down view, which I think a lot of them lack. But clicking off, you can also drill down to specific departments, entity types, etc. And this is built using Cytoscape, which is a JavaScript package, which I had never heard of, but it's really powerful. Another view which I think is kind of powerful here is this circle view. Maps out, kind of just shows like, wow, my organization has all of these things going on and this is how they're connected. All right, that's enough of that one. Going to hop over and show you the dashboard as well. So as I mentioned, this is surfacing the quantitative data. Has drill down capability as well. So there's 4 tabs. We have an overview tab, processes, systems, and value streams. On this, you can drill down to specific departments or capabilities. We're looking at emergency department throughput. So it's showing you processes at the bottom. I'm utilizing Lean 6 metrics here because I wanted to have kind of a standard framework to measure efficiency, So it's like, first pass yield is a metric that Lean Six uses. There's definitions of those down here. Um, there's obviously estimated values here. So like the value of your emergency department triage to discharge. In a real world scenario, those would be, probably a lot more than $50,000. But process tab is focused on processes. Obviously, again, you can drill down, you can see specifically what's the emergency department doing, how efficient are their processes, what is the financial impact, and then down here you have a process scorecard. So there's a scorecard model running in the background that generates these scores based on that quantitative data that we capture up front. Same thing, systems. This is more technological that you're focused on. So healthcare of each specific system, cost versus ops score, and then you have another scorecard there at the bottom. And then your value streams across the org. This kind of like is what the processes roll up to. So this is the higher level by criticality, by process count, etc. So anyway, I know this is a whirlwind tour. Thank you for sticking with me. I know I'm a minute over. If anybody has questions, be happy to walk through this in better detail. I hope everyone had a great semester and hope you have a great end of the year.